Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician channel, and today we're going to be going into an Ulsa Tools product. If you guys follow my Amazon tool deals videos, you guys might know that I have mentioned a few Ulsa tools in those videos, as well as my previous videos. I have a handful of Ulsa Tools products, such as some of their organizers, their ratcheting wrenches, and a couple other items that I've had good experiences with. So I think Ulsa Tools is a good brand for a good priced quality tool. So today we're going to be looking at the Ulsa Tools Roto head or swivel head ratchet. So this is going to be part number 1247, made in Taiwan. It's a 3-piece set. It includes 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive. It's got the standard 270-degree swivel head action, heavy duty chrome vanadium, and a 90 tooth with 4-degree arc swing. So that's really nice. I do like that they are a 90 tooth design. So my previous history with Roto head ratchets haven't been the greatest. I've owned the Pittsburgh one and the Gearwrench set. I had the 1/4 inch and 3/8 of the Gearwrench and just a 3/8 Pittsburgh. So my biggest deal is, the reason I go for Roto head ratchets, or I did, was anytime I'm working in a confined space, I want something that's adaptable as possible and something that operates very well. Because when I'm doing a lot of interior work, whether that be center console, under seats, under the dash, up in the dash, anything like that, I need something that's very adaptable to those tight situations and something with very little back drag. So the Roto head or the swivel head ratchet is a very adaptable tool. Con: a lot of the Roto head or swivel head ratchets have a lot of back drag. I've owned 2 different brands of swivel heads, used 3, and they all seem to have a pretty decent amount of back drag. My Pittsburgh one back in the day actually loosened up over time, but with the Gearwrench, this 3/8 drive one isn't quite as bad. My 1/4 inch, which is what I use primarily on dash work, center consoles, under seats, and things like that, had so much back drag I couldn't even use it enough to break it in, or possibly break it in to where it would operate a little bit smoother. It was so stiff that anytime I would even break loose a 1/4 inch fastener, as soon as I broke it loose, I was lucky if I could get it to ratchet after that, just because of how much back drag there was. And a lot of the Roto head ratchets, when I purchased mine back in the day, probably 5 to 7 years ago, they're all like 72 tooth. So I'm going to be sharing with you a few brands, their pricing, as well as their tooth count and everything, so you guys can get an understanding of what kind of deal you would get if you decide to purchase this. So with the Gearwrench set that I purchased 5 to 7 years ago, it's a 2-piece set, like I said, the 1/4 inch and the 3/8. Right here I have the 3/8. It's a 72 tooth mechanism. It's got a comfort grip, and they run around $60. Now, comfort grip isn't really something I look for in a Roto head ratchet, just due to the fact that most of the time I'm using a Roto head ratchet, it would be in those confined spaces, so it doesn't really bother me. I'm not putting a lot of torque on these styles of ratchets, so I'm not too worried about a comfort grip. Now, on my larger ratchets and stuff like that, it is a nice benefit. But when it comes to Roto head ratchets, I know a lot of people in the comments in my previous videos, where I've done videos on ratchets like this, they prefer, or were looking for, a non-comfort grip. And at the time, Ulsa Tools was one of the only ones. Now there are a few other brands, and I'll share them with you. Quite a few brands with comfort grip and non-comfort grip and different tooth counts. So there's a wide variety available today. So I just want to share the information on this compared to a lot of others. So that's what you get with the Gearwrench, the 2 drive sizes, for $60. Then the Pittsburgh, individually, they run between around $15 to $20. They are comfort grip. They have a little bit larger comfort grip, kind of more the oval design. They are also quick release. The Gearwrench does not have a quick release version, and they are also 72 tooth. And hopefully I'll be posting pictures up in here of some of the different brands that I'm talking about. And then with Icon, they have released some as well. They have them individually at $40 to $50, and they are also a comfort grip. And the Icon is another one at a 90 tooth gear design, which is a plus. Because something I've come to realize, especially in Roto head ratchets or swivel head ratchets, is that the higher the tooth count is really helping with that back drag. It does seem that quite a few of the Roto head ratchets have a decent amount of back drag. So with that slightly higher tooth count, you get a little bit less back drag. Next up is Tecton. Tecton has a 3-piece set, or you can buy them individually. They are a 72 tooth design, which any of them, if it's 72 tooth, you know is a 5-degree arc swing, or the 90 tooth are going to be a 4-degree arc swing. The Tecton is also going to be a comfort grip design, and if I remember correctly, it is also more of the oval handle shape design. They are also going to be a quick release, and for the set of 3 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive, it is going to run $63. So those are some of the brands that come with comfort grip if that's something you prefer. Now, for those that have commented quite a bit saying they're looking for ones without a comfort grip, there are some others available, but this is the only non-comfort grip that I've ever had experience with, so I can't say as far as quality or design on these, but I did want to mention them. Titan has quite a few different sets. You can buy them individually or in sets of swivel heads and standard other ratchets. They do have an all aluminum set, which does get pretty pricey. So they're individual. They're going to range between $30 and $50 each. And then in the sets, depending on what size you get, is going to range from $90 to $150. And that is for quite a larger set of ratchets. And once again, those Titan ones are going to be aluminum. Then there's going to be Power Built, which is going to be around the $24 price range on average, depending on the drive size, or $75 for a set. And then Craftsman also offers a design, but like Craftsman, if you guys know anything about the Craftsman tools today, they have more of that square handle design. Even though it is not a comfort grip, it does still have that square handle design. And it is going to average around $38 each, or if you would get all 3 drive sizes, it's going to range between $100 and $110. So that's it as far as the brands of swivel head ratchets that come in comfort grip and non-comfort grip, and they're all going to be 72 tooth or 90 tooth. I am definitely going to say I prefer the 90 tooth just from my experiences with the 2 or 3 brands that I've used in 72 tooth. So here, the 3/8 one isn't quite as bad as my 1/4 inch, but it still does have a decent amount of back drag. Those tools just has a lot less back drag with that 90 tooth mechanism. So when looking at these more closely, the Gearwrench does have a slightly slimmer head design. The reverse mechanism on the back end of the Ulsa is a little bit taller, or protrudes from the back a little bit more than the Gearwrench. And then up front here you can see the lip of the head of the ratchet that kind of sticks up where the Gearwrench is flush. But in that, this one is repairable, or you can disassemble it to oil it or lubricate it if you would like. And then with these, they both have the same standard designs with the half moon here, the fork with a tension screw here, which is a Torx, and that 270-degree swivel here, which is a great feature. And you can use this adjustment screw here on the fork to allow yourself how much friction or tension you want on the swivel head, how easily you want it to move, which is really nice when you get to the 1/4 inch and you're working underneath a dash, because these are made for working around obstructions while also allowing you to use it as basically a speed nut driver, which is really nice, and I really enjoy using these anytime I can on interior work. Now, it's not very often that I would use a 1/2 inch drive, but they are handy, especially when you're working underneath a car. Let's say you don't have a lift and you're working on jack stands. And sometimes when you have an extension on, you get your ratchet really close to the ground. Here you can kind of move your ratchet out, so as long as the fastener is not too tight, you can continue to make more of a full rotation than you would be able to with a standard ratchet. So that is really nice, and a great feature of these swivel head ratchets is being able to move out of the way of those obstructions. So I find myself using the 1/4 inch primarily for interior work, the 3/8 engine bay work, and 1/2 inch, if I would use it, I would most likely be using it underneath the vehicle. But obviously, it's just situational preference. And then with this, the Gearwrench does have a little bit more length. These are both 3/8 drive, and with that, if you put the heads flush up here, you are going to see, most likely, this is roughly where the end of the comfort grip, or the actual metal shaft inside the comfort grip, is going to end. So for those that are looking for a good quality swivel head ratchet without spending a lot of money, and looking for one with less back drag than a lot of the standard 72 tooth designs, I think the Ulsa Tools one is a good option. I do like that it comes in this little plastic organizer. It's not like the highest quality plastic, but it's definitely something that, as long as you find a spot in your toolbox, leave it there, it is going to keep your ratchets organized very nicely. Now, it may take up a little bit more room than you might need, so some of you may be able to use the organizer and maybe not. But I think it is nice that it is included. Here's the sound of the 1/2 inch. The 1/4 inch. This moves so freely compared to my Gearwrench version. It is ridiculous. Because I've owned a lot of Gearwrench products in the past, and I still do, and Gearwrench is still one of my go-to brands, but when it comes to their Roto head ratchets, it's just not one of my favorites. I'd say around 90% of the Gearwrench tools that I've ever owned, I've had very good experiences with, and the Roto head ratchets just aren't one of those products. I haven't had anything fail with them, but just that back drag is the biggest con to this set of ratchets. But I think the Ulsa Tools is a good replacement. So, like I said, this is the 3-piece set. It's a 90-tooth design with a 4-degree arc swing, a non-comfort grip, a non-quick release design, and it runs around $89. So, if you guys are interested, I'll have this link down in the description. If there's any information that you guys would like that I forgot to mention, please feel free to drop a comment down below. And when it comes to quick release or non-quick release, my personal preference is a non-quick release design ratchet. That's what I like my ratchets in. I'd say I only have 1 or 2 quick release ratchets, but other than that, I prefer a non-quick release. But once again, that is personal preference. And then here's 1/2 inch, nice and snug, and extremely smooth. There is very little back drag. I would never be able to do this with my Gearwrench. I'd literally have to sit there and physically turn it with effort. And having that speed of a ratcheting, basically nut driver, is fantastic for a lot of different situations. So all around, I think it's a great set. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. If you guys own a set of Roto head or swivel head ratchets, let me know your guys' thoughts on the set that you guys have, or one that you've considered possibly purchasing. But other than that, I'll have this and possibly a couple others linked down in the description for you guys, as well as many other tools down in the tools and tools continued link. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and as always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys next time.